Hey Internet, welcome to Thermodynamics tutorial. This is a made-up question not found in your textbooks. Even though it's made up, it's an exam question because it requires linear interpolation and you need to derive a formula. We got a piston cylinder device equipped with a spring, contains 0.6 kilograms of water vapor, initial pressure is 4 MPa, and the temperature is 400 degrees Celsius. The spring does not exert any force on the piston. The spring follows the linear relationship force is equal to the spring constant multiplied by distance, so F equals kx. The spring constant K is 0.91 kilonewtons per centimeter. The piston diameter is 21 centimeters. Find the final temperature and find the specific enthalpy for the final process. Step 1, draw your free body diagram, your FBD. This will help you visualize the problem. Step 2, list all the given variables, find the unknowns. Step 3, find the final temperature. In order to do that, we need to find the final pressure. Step 4, find the final pressure formula. This is the derived formula, and we will go through how to derive it. So P final is equal to the P initial minus the constant divided by 2 multiplied by the initial specific volume. Step 5, derive the formula from the linear process PV. We have P final minus P initial is equal to the constant multiplied by the specific volume minus the initial specific volume. Step 6, we're going to equate the equations. Everything on the left hand side remains the same, so it's just P final minus P initial. On the right hand side, that's where we manipulate things. So we start off with the force of the spring minus the initial force of the spring divided by area. Then we split it into its components. So F equals kx. The spring constant K is the same for both, so we just need to multiply both of them. Alright, and then of course we've got the area, which is unchanged at the denominator. So next step, we're going to multiply the area top and bottom. So that seems strange, but bear with me, there is a reason why we do that. So it becomes K multiplied by area divided by area squared multiplied by the difference in the distances. So volume is equal to area multiplied by distance. So that's why we had to multiply both top and bottom before. So now we have K divided by area squared multiplied by the change in volume. Now volume is equal to mass multiplied by specific volume. So now we have Km divided by area squared multiplied by the change in specific volume. Okay, step 7, we can now define this constant C. So C is equal to Km divided by area squared, as we've just found. Alright, so it becomes 4 squared km divided by pi. Where did this 4 squared come from? So the area is pi multiplied by diameter squared divided by 4. So since we've got area squared, we're going to have 2 sets of 4, and they're going to be brought up onto the numerator because it's a division of a division. Okay, step 8, we're now just going to plug and play, find the constant C. So 16 multiplied by Km divided by pi. Okay, so there is a typo, I believe. Yes, it's actually pi squared. Alright. and I left out, I do apologize. So I left out diameter squared as diameter to the 4 actually. So that's a typo, not to worry. The answer is correct because this line is correct. Okay, so 16 multiplied by 91 kilonewtons per meter. So we just converted kilonewtons per centimeter to kilonewtons per meter, and we did that by multiplying by 100. Okay, so the constant is 45,513.024 kilonewtons per kilogram per meter to the power of 5. Okay, step 9, we go to the superheated table because the high pressure and most likely that it's superheated. We can check this by going to the saturated pressure table to confirm. So due to the high pressure, high temperature, that's the assumption that we're going to make. We're going to confirm it by going to the saturated table. So once you go to the saturated table, you know that the temperature is like 213 or something like that. So you know it's going to be superheated. So okay, now that we're in the superheated table, we line up the 4 MPa with the 400 degrees Celsius. We go to the specific volume, and our initial specific volume will be 0.07343 meters cubed per kilogram. Alright, so now we've got all the values. We can now find the final pressure. So we just plug and play. Initial pressure, that's given in the question. So it's 4 MPa, which is the same as 4,000 kPa. We have it as kPa just because it may be a lower number. Alright. So we've got this constant divided by 2 multiplied by the initial specific volume, and we end up with 2,328.98 kPa. Step 11, find the final temperature. So we need to linear interpolate because this pressure is in between 2,500 and 2,250. So we've got this temperature here. We need to linear interpolate. It's in between. Step 12, we linear interpolate. Here's the general formula for the ratio method of linear interpolation. The left-hand side is your pressure. The right-hand side is your final temperature. After linear interpolation, we get 220.16 degrees Celsius, and that's the answer for part A. Step 13, find the final specific enthalpy formula. So little h final is equal to HF plus the quality final multiplied by the specific enthalpy of evaporation, HFG. So all of them are missing, but we're going to find the quality first. So step 14, find the final quality formula. So we need the final specific volume. We need the saturated fluid of the specific volume, and we need the evaporation of the specific volume. Okay, step 15, find the final specific volume. So little v final is equal to the initial volume divided by 2. This was stated in the question where they state that the final volume is halved. Okay, so our final specific volume is 0.036715 meters cubed per kilogram. Step 16, find the specific volume of the saturated fluid and vapor. So for this part, we're just gonna assume that it is 220 degrees Celsius. The 0.16 degrees Celsius is negligible. Also, you don't want to linear interpolate just for that small decimal place value. I would say the whole temperature is probably as close as you can get without being precise. Alright, so your VF is 0.001190 meters cubed per kilogram, and your VG is 0.086094 meters cubed per kilogram, and then VFG is VG minus VF. Okay, so to find your final quality, you need your final specific volume found in step 15, and then VF and VG is found in step 16 respectively, so over here and over here. So now we just plug and play, and our final quality is 0.4183. that is unitless because the units cancel out. Alright, so now we need to find the specific enthalpy of the saturated liquid, so HF, and the evaporation of the specific enthalpy, which is HFG. Once again, we're just using 220 degrees Celsius. We're just gonna ignore the 0.16 degrees. Okay. Step 20, we can now find the final specific enthalpy for part B. So step 18 and 19 is where we got these values. So 19 is HF and HFG, and then the final qualities on 18. And once again, we just plug and play. We will get 1720.5 kilojoules per kilogram. Disclaimers: the method is correct, however, I do make calculation mistakes. I encourage you to solve it yourself and see if you get the same answer. Now, before we leave, I highly encourage you to save this video onto your PC just in case this video or channel gets taken down. While I follow all copyright laws, sometimes things happen. You can do this by using Snipping Tool. If you never used Snipping Tool before, follow these instructions. If you're on a Mac, use the Mac equivalent of Snipping Tool. Click on the icon in your taskbar. If it's not there, go to your Windows search, type in Snipping Tool, open up the program. Click on Video option, click on New. Left click and drag the rectangle to cover the YouTube screen. This is just an example. Hit the Start button in Snipping Tool, wait for the countdown. Hit the replay button on YouTube, let the video finish. Hit the red square in Snipping Tool to stop recording and then save your video. Thanks for watching, hope you had a great day. Be sure to like and subscribe. Share with your friends because this is a made up question, so they probably won't be able to find it. If you got questions, comments, or if you find a mistake in the video, leave it in the comment section. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you want to support me, become a member or drop a super thanks. Until next time, see ya.